Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting
Let's
Nine.
Go.
Episode 240. It's a great episode. We got a couple things that we got to get into off the top of the podcast, Dallas, because I got some things I want to say to you.
Oh, to me. Well, you some things you'd like to say to me. What's
there's a couple things.
Okay. All
There's
right.
a couple.
Do you want to congratulate me first on the series victory?
No.
Is that what you wanted? No.
No.
Okay, that's not.
No, because you know what? When you lose the last game, it doesn't mean as much.
No, you're right. Hey, I would agree that you like to get on the airplane and not be getting shit faced because you're like, fuck, really?
Yeah.
But nice game of cribbage on over to the next place is fun when you've won. So yeah, that sucks. Whatever. But I don't see. So is there? So you didn't want to congratulate me on the series victory?
No. I think genuinely.
Well, you watched the game, obviously, right?
Yeah. Watch the game. I'm. You know what? I think I would have congratulated you if you had lost the first game and then won the next two. Already win the series going into the third game, like right. You won the series yesterday. Like that shit's old news now.
Well, and it wouldn't, and you got to remember, it plays into my hand because I told you that it was going to go this way. If it was going to go this way, I felt like the Mania outing was going to go a little differently. But I told you game one. Yet obviously we're going to roll in there, take game one. Once I knew who game two was going to be featuring, I felt very confident, just knowing the emotion that was going to be put into that outing. And I have got to shout out my man James Caprilli. Not only him.
I didn't know his backstory.
Yeah, dude. Dougie Punch-Outs. Oh, Dougie Punch-Outs. That's his dad, Doug Caprillion.
Okay.
I'm sure you folks got to see.
He was amped.
An electric factory in every sense of the word. He was like legit strike three. He was standing up, punching people out. It was, dude, like it put the biggest smile on my face. It was amazing. And then, for the folks who don't know, James lost his mom in 2014, battle with cancer, and so it's been him and his dad, and just the family aspect of what it takes to get people to their ultimate destination, the big leagues for him. There's a lot of investment that goes on there, right? Not just him, but the support group around him. So to watch his family enjoy that moment, knowing what it meant was, dude, it was incredible. And then after the game, to hear him explain, like, if you guys would see me, I would glance off and I would look between the dugout and home plate. And that's because that's where his mom would sit when she would watch him play. And as athletes, you are encouraged at times to find a place in your arena. And that could just be as close to you as the field you're on. It could be as expansive as an object off in the distance in the skyline where you're playing, but somewhere in the stadium maybe. And for him, it was his mom and where she sat. And that's obviously been a point of focus for him since she hasn't been there to sit there. So just all of it, dude, all of it. Like, being drafted by the Yankees and it just Fenway, like your first big league start. Like, dude, there's a whole lot of epicness going into that. It was a fucking fantastic moment.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. Get it, like finding out the story kind of like a little bit afterwards. It was like during the game they were like mentioning it, but yeah, no, that was a great moment.
The guy misses 2 years of baseball.
Yeah,
right. 2 years of baseball. So after all that heartfelt stuff, Jared, what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? You didn't want to be mean to me, right?
I wasn't going to be mean. I love Sean Manaea. Great guy. Former teammate of mine. I didn't want to say anything about, like how does that dude no hit a team. I wasn't gonna say anything like that. What I was gonna point out though was
didn't you though?
What?
Someone pointed out to me that you did. I feel like you did say something along those lines.
Say what?
Like, I can't believe this guy threw a no hit. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing.
I tweeted, imagine getting no hit by this guy.
Oh, that's
because I was just like imagining that time that he no hit the Red Sox because I was there.
Yeah, 18. It was a moment. I mean,
Yeah.
that was I mean,
One of my favorite years ever.
it should have been.
Yeah.
And that was the only series? Was that the only series the Red Sox lost? Or that was the first series?
That was the first. Yeah, they were like 17-2. Just a good ball club that year. They're just a good
decent.
old-fashioned ball club.
Decent club.
Yeah.
Look at you. 2021 we're in, and you are. Hey, we would say turn the fucking page. Get out of the yearbook.
Well,
Carrabis.
that's what I said. That's what I said. I was just like, no one cares about that stuff that happened in 2018. It's time to move on.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
This is a rough day at the office. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But one of the things I wanted to bring up was because, I was kind of switching back and forth between the broadcasts. There was an incident with Mark Canna that I'd like to get into, but before we get to that, I was listening to the A's broadcast, which I tend to do on a pretty much nightly basis. Very rarely am I not at least tuning in for a little bit for the A's broadcast. And there's an interesting there's an interesting discussion.
Were you having dinner? Have a little din-din, Jared? Watching the ball game? Just taking in the ball game, have a little din-din.
Yeah, I was hungry. And it was just...
What'd you have?
Are you a chicken finger guy?
I dabble. I'm not afraid to hammer a chicken finger or two. I've got a buddy of mine who I feel like he lives on chicken fingers and chocolate milk. Ouch. Yes.
Why the ouch? Why the ouch? Why?
I mean,
who doesn't love them some chicken fingers?
I'm not saying there's a difference between loving you some chicken fingers and living on some chicken fingers.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a balance. There's a happy medium to find. And maybe, yeah. I mean, did you think that was about you? Is that about you?
I just got the vibe.
Uh-huh.
I just got the vibe that maybe there was a specific person in mind that you were thinking of. And I was like, I'm not trying to be vain or anything. I'm not trying to just, listen to the broadcast and hear basically that Dallas mentioned someone talking about chicken fingers and think that that's about me. However, he mentions this person also drinks chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got to a point where I was like, you know what? That seems like an oddly specific combination of food choice and beverage choice.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how I arrived on perhaps you might have been talking about me on the broadcast.
So are you saying that I couldn't possibly know anybody else in the world that would favor those two specific items? Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
That's all I want.
You do have 2 children.
I do have 2 children. You are correct.
Yeah.
I have 2 small children, but I wouldn't consider them my buddies just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I only
So that takes them off the list of suspects.
Right.
So
now I want to show you something.
Okay.
Because this text came in during the broadcast as well.
Okay.
And it's funny because of what you're saying right now. And I don't know if you could see what that question is under the video.
I see that. Yeah. Who's it from?
From another buddy of mine.
Okay.
And he's asking, is that one of our friends that you don't know, or is that you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't imagine it's the other person. There's just no way. There's no way that there's more than one of us out there.
I know the only two. I mean, I figured that there was only one of you that was watching that broadcast. I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like, you also know, even if I'm not watching, I'm watching. It'll find its way to me.
It's the interwebs. It's the broadcast, the interweb. Of course. But yeah, I just, I don't use any names, Jared. I don't want to imply, because, as we sit right now, you don't know that I'm still thinking that it was you who was going to be watching our broadcast. I mean, I knew you'd be watching that game.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Our broadcast?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I switched back and forth. Well, because so that brings us into the Mark Hanna thing, which I don't want to spend a ton of time on. But Mark Hanna, by the way, what was it? Last night? Yeah, I think it was last night. He was dressed in full scuba gear, like the guys do when it's like 30 below, and it was 63 degrees in Boston. And then people were like, it's a pandemic. Like, that's why he's wearing the mask. I was like, no. He's wearing the mask in left field while there was no one around him. And then at the plate, he wasn't, where there's two people in close proximity to him. So it has nothing to do with COVID, but this dude is going full scuba gear when it's 63 degrees out.
He just likes to be comfortable. And he is maybe sensitive to temperate weather. And that, you got to factor in wind chill. Jared, I don't know if you're doing that. Are you doing that? Are you factoring in the wind and the chill that comes with the wind?
There's not. I mean,
so that's something you got to think about.
You're playing left field at Fenway Park. The wind is entirely blocked.
You don't know that the wind
You're
can be gusting.
You're standing in front of a 37-foot high wall.
The wind could be gusting.
Anyways, so Mark Hanna has a he's kind of known for this. Like, it's kind of his thing, where he tries to get hit on purpose to get on base. And
whoa, I don't know if trying to get hit on purpose to get on base is his thing that he's known for.
He gets hit more than anybody.
Well, those are two different things.
Well, it's both. He gets hit a lot. No. They're not all trying to get hit on purpose, but he does try to get hit on purpose, and he did it against Garrett Richards. And Garrett Richards, you could read his lips. He said, "Fuck that. That's fucked up." Or "fuck that shit," or whatever he said.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
And then the next pitch was a heater right over his head. And I was curious because the Red Sox broadcast, Dennis Eckersley, did not like that at all. Like, Eck was like, "Oh no, like, that is not what you do. Like, I hate that. Like, that's not what you do there." Like, he let him kind of like have it. And then I flipped over to the A's broadcast, and I was like, oh, damn, if X reacting that strongly, I would love to see what the A's broadcast sounds like. And you guys were just like, okay, message received. And then that was it. Like, I mean, there was no, like, I thought we were going to get a stronger emotional response on the Homer broadcast.
No. Why? Like that's part of, like,
well, because he threw at his head.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was probably the straightest fastball that he threw all night.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else was 94, 95 miles an hour and cutting. And he wasn't necessarily dotting spots up. I don't feel like he threw at his head. I feel like he wanted to throw it in. And if you look at where his fastball location was, I mean, he was up all night. But fuck, man, I can understand him being pissed off. I can understand him trying to creep in there and like, hey, you want to get hit? I'll fucking drill you. But you want to pull this? Like, stop it. You leaned into a strike. I can understand that from X perspective, and maybe he knows Garrett Richards on a different level than I do, and like, he's like, yo, I feel like that was him just legitimately throwing at his head, trying to hit him in the head. You know, what do you want me to say? I said what I thought happened on the broadcast, which is, you know what? I don't think he tried to hit him in the head.
Yeah.
If he tried to throw it high and in and it went over his head, hey, he didn't get hit, did he?
He did not get hit.
Like I said,
it was very close, though. Like, you're talking about Jarred Richards, who I believe he had one start this year where he had 6 walks.
Yes.
So it's not like this is a man who has pinpoint. Like, we're not talking about Corbin Burns or Garrett Cole here.
That's why I said, like, if he's going to elevate one and do what he's going to do, like, that's probably something that can happen. Like, for me, it's just I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to make sense of the whole how does the unwritten rules thing shake itself out. Well, this is like one of those situations where at the end of it, nobody got drilled, the message was delivered, and now you can choose to make it a thing from there on out, or we can look at it and go, hey, why are we here? Because you leaned into a strike. So I've got to do something about that, if that is indeed what we're going to do. I do it. From there, it's done. The way it keeps going is if the Oakland A's take issue with how they were being corrected, if you will. And now, if that's the case, it's like, okay, well, that's where it starts to become tired. Like, look, nobody should ever be thrown at anybody's head. And the fact that one got let go, but everybody lived to see another pitch, all right, let's move on. Because why are we here? Well, because I leaned into a fucking strike. That's why we're here. I should, I got to reel that in. Okay, cool. Everybody good? Let's keep it moving. That is how the game, in my opinion, can police itself. But it takes somebody being self-aware enough to go, we don't need to answer back now. Like, again, why are we here? If we can acknowledge
we
that,
fired
then
the first shot.
Right. We can, and that's why I said what I said. Message delivered. Message sent. Message delivered. What else do you want to do? Because, like, seriously, through that broadcast, what would you have had me do? Defend a guy leaning into a strike?
No. I think it was almost a backward situation where, I mean, Mark Canha, like, yeah, you don't lean into a strike. You don't try to, like, get hit on purpose so you can reach base. But at the same time, he did look out a little bit, but he wasn't, like, pissed off that he just got a fastball over his head. He was just kind of like, oh, all right. He just kept chewing his gum and got back in the box. Because it's like, all right, yeah, I get it.
Because Mark's a different dude in that regard. Like, he is a cerebral guy. He's a thinker. I was driving home, so I didn't have the opportunity to listen to the post-game press conference. I don't know if he was somebody that they talked to or not. I'm sure that might be something that was asked. Same goes for Garrett Richards. I don't know if he was asked about that, and I'm sure they were. I'd be interested to see what both of them had to say about that. I'd be interested to ask Eck, and this is what sucks about not being able to be at the yard, is because I promise you I would have seen Eck in the press box, and we would have had this conversation. And, like, if obviously I would have found out, he's like, man, you don't throw at somebody's head. And I would have said.
He was, like, really upset about it.
Sure. And,
like, he went on about it for, like, 30 seconds. You don't do that, man. You just don't do that.
Because you're taking a guy's career, man, his livelihood.
I agreed with Eck. I agreed with Eck. I just wasn't as egregiously offended by it. Like, I don't want guys throwing
I think
like,
that goes.
I think you can throw if the same thing plays out and Garrett Richards just, like, puts one off his ass. Then
exactly.
Who cares? Like, it's
that's what I was going to say.
Like, you're going to get on base
what
anyway.
What happens if he drills him? Like, what do you think Eck's reaction is if he drills him in the thigh?
Like,
hits him in the ass.
I think Eck would be like, well, you gave him what he wanted because he wanted to get on base anyway, but at least you did it the right way.
And that was that. And then you would move on from there. And then we'd be talking about, hey, why is Mark Canha doing that? Well, because you're down. You haven't been able to square this guy up. Like, you're trying to get on base any way you can. Canha is not afraid to get drilled to the point where he actually got caught leaning into a strike. So what are you going to do from there? Well, if you're going to take action as the other team and sail one, and unfortunately it got near the head, like, hopefully what happens, and this is what you think would happen, is you take Garrett Richards aside, maybe another veteran in there, and say, hey, look, we're going to do that shit. You just got to remember, bud, we don't elevate that. If you're going to elevate that, it's got to be, you got to throw
shoulder
it over
blades.
No. You got to throw it over. If you're going to, throw it over the fucking backstop, if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Or throw it behind him by 12 feet. But to your point, a guy who's got maybe 6 walks in a ball game, command, not elite.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not go sniffing around the upper body.
Right.
Like, you need to be aiming at somebody's
feet,
ass.
Yeah.
And that's that. So, and that, again, do I agree with Eck? 1,000%. But was I as offended about it? No, because maybe I'm just I don't know. I'm just putting it all into context, like in real time, like, boom. No, that all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I can process it because I think that's how shit should be handled.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's just interesting. Wish I could congratulate you on the series, but you lost the last game. We do have the Mount Rushmore series. The first segment is today. We're recording this on Thursday night. We're also going to be starting a new series with college baseball coaches, which this is the brainchild of Dallas Braden, and I'm very excited for this. Like, this is going to be one of those things where it's, if you are a young baseball player, you're going to be very interested in hearing what these coaches have to say, because the questions are geared more towards, like, if you are a young high school baseball player that's looking to play Division I college baseball, and you have options, or you're trying to look where you might want to go if you're in your junior year, you're gonna enjoy this series. But also, if you're just a straight up baseball fan, you're gonna enjoy.
Well, and if you're a coach,
yeah,
think about that. Like, you're getting ready to hear from some of the top college coaches, not some of the top college coaches in the nation. And if you've got a program, doesn't matter how big or how small, maybe you're just starting out and you're trying to figure out a way to implement something, to create something, to get something going. You're going to be hearing from some of the greatest baseball minds that we've got.
Mm-hmm. I'm
very excited. And Jarred, for you, it's like it's like you're getting to take a little visit. A little virtual visit.
So I have a question for you, Dallas.
Maybe I got an answer.
Do they have to be active? Can they be former? Okay. All right. So then we're doing one with Murph. I fucking can't wait for that one. We'll do one with Pat Murphy, who is the former head coach at Arizona State University. He's got stories for days. Just an incredible individual.
Right, he's a legend. Like I told you. Remember when we saw him? It's my favorite Murph story ever to this point. Anyway, is just watching him stroll up through the winter meetings, rocking a pair of snakeskin baby blue Jordan 11s. I was like, bro, how cold are your wheels right now? And he was just like, yeah, sorry about it.
He is. They don't make him like Murph anymore. No. He's just a true individual. He had a heart attack. What was it? That was last year? I think it was last year. No. Last year. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember he was Brock was on the bus and he FaceTimed me, and he was sitting behind Murph, and they were like dicking around and like busting each other's balls, and like I think he had the heart attack like a few days later.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, but I mean he was like ready to be back on the field like the next day.
Well, yeah, he's a pulling wires out of his fucking chest kind of guy. Like, get me out of here. Get me. Like, honestly, he's a dude. Like, if he were to have issues again, like, get him to a dugout, okay? Like, not the ER, not like just get him to a baseball dugout, and that's like the best place you could be taking care of Murph. Like he's gonna be revived there. He's gonna live forever there. You know what I mean? Like, get him there, and all of the medical care in the world just instantly skyrockets to the best he could ever receive. Like, that's how much of a baseball dude he is.
Mm-hmm. Jarred Kelenic watch is underway. He made his major league debut tonight, batting leadoff.
How about that?
But he's 0 for 2 so far. He got robbed on that first one. Hell of a play by, what was it, Josh Naylor? Yeah, it was Naylor.
Yeah, and the debut for one Logan Gilbert as well.
Barely know her.
Oh!
Oh! He's got his first big league punchy, too.
What's who?
We'll keep an eye on that.
But, Fran Mill, jump ship early on the young fella.
He's beast. Welcome to the bigs. I mean, if you're gonna give up a big league bomb, it might as well be to a dude that doesn't play, and that would be Franmil Reyes, who has, I think, over his last 162, he's got 30 plus bombs. I think that was his 31st. I want to say maybe
for Franmil.
Yeah, he's based.
I mean, swing hard, buddy, just in case.
Fucking
lean on something.
Yeah, I lean on Goslings.
I can understand it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, did I tell you that I bought that ice machine?
No, you did not tell me.
Oh yeah, buddy, I bought. It's like a $200 ice machine because I have my freezer is full of like my meal prep.
Yep.
So I don't have room for ice. And I hate going to the store to buy ice, and I hate when you like put ice in the tray. So I bought an ice maker. And the reason why I did that is because I like to make dark and stormies. But I mean, you can't make a dark and stormy without ice. So just because Starting Nine is sponsored by Gosling's Rum, and you know that they're the official rum of the Boston Red Sox, the key ingredient in the dark and stormy cocktail, but like that's the thing is like you take like they have dark and stormy in a can. It's already pre-made.
Yeah.
Which I used to like, but then like there's just something about getting that nice little cocktail glass.
Yeah.
And you dictate these are my rules, not your rules. These are my rules.
It's your game, bud.
Yeah, you get your ginger beer, you get your black rum, but you get your ice in there, and the ice it's not a dark and stormy without the ice. It's not.
No.
Are you like a lemon wedge guy? No. Or a lime?
It depends. In my dark and stormy?
Yeah.
Not so much.
Okay.
I like to just give me the weather, and that's it. No citrus. I'm a citrus guy though.
You're a big Pirates guy, so I feel like the dark and stormy is kind of like right up your alley.
It is, buddy.
Raise it.
Raise it.
You've waited patiently, and baseball is finally back. It's time to relax, sit in your favorite section of the park, and watch the Red Sox have a wicked good season. I mean, they are.
Oh,
they are
wicked
the best
bad series against those Oakland Athletics.
I mean, put it this way: I'm totally fine with losing Game 2. Game 1, they lost by 1 run and had the tying run 90 feet away. And then we kicked your fucking ass in the last game. So it's pretty much the best team.
So it's a bad ball game for a lefty. Yeah. He's going to have, he might have one more of those.
It was basically, it was toss up, loss, ass beating. So it's pretty even series. Pretty even series. We play you in a best of 7. We probably win in 6, maybe 5. To help you, Gosling's what they want. This is the Bermuda trip.
Yeah, they're giving away a trip to Bermuda, dude.
Yeah, to help you. They're giving away a free trip to Bermuda to one lucky winner. All you have to do is visit happy.goslingsrum.com and take the laughing challenge for a chance to win a trip to Bermuda. Laugh yourself to paradise and picture a dark and stormy cocktail in hand, sunshine, an ocean breeze, and whatever else takes you to your happy place. Visit happy.goslingsrum.com and remember to hashtag dare to be happy. You must be 21 and over to enter.
All right.
We teased it last week or earlier this week as well. And the Mount Rushmore series is underway because this was just a random phone call between Dallas and myself. We got to talking. We're going to do the Mount Rushmore of every single Major League Baseball team. And then when we're done deciding on the Mount Rushmore of every single baseball team, we are going to create our Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores.
Yes.
Do you think we're going to agree on this one? Have we said what team it's going to be?
No, we haven't even said what team this is going to be. But before we go any further, we need to have inserted the presidential theme music for the entrance to this. The
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, okay. Just side note for Dr. Claw. No, I think Dr. Claw right now is dealing with the fire department because he's starting a 5-alarm skin fire. Oh, it's a treat. But yes, Carrabis, tell the fans who we've got right now, Mount Rushmore. I'm excited about this one as well.
Yeah. So the first installment of the Mount Rushmore. This is an organization that has a very rich history.
Historical.
I mean, you could argue it has the most history of any team in baseball ever.
Possibly.
The most decorated team of all time. It's the St. Louis Cardinals. It is one of the classiest, if not the classiest organization in baseball.
Their fans, possibly the classiest.
The classiest of the classy. I mean, this organization, they don't play around as it pertains to the play on the field, the integrity off the field.
So we should also be transparent in the idea that we have a list of players that had been compiled to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
We have not communicated on who we have chosen, and to be completely transparent, we haven't really talked about whether or not this is like a competition of sorts. If this is, I think it's more just a matter of who we would select. And I don't even know, do we have 4 options on the poll? Like, can we put these people out on a poll?
No, this is not about the people.
Yeah, okay. It's not okay. Sorry, people. It's not about
It's not about you.
Not about you.
It's not about you at all.
All right, well then I think we should at least highlight some names before we just start whittling away here.
I mean,
is that fair?
I think we can do honorable mentions after we've named our names.
Okay, all right. And if we agree, then I don't think we need to spend too much time on the individual.
Okay. So I think right off the bat, you start with Stan the Man. That's number 1.
Done. Start with Stan the Man. I do feel like when we do this, though, we've got to at least highlight why they are there. Like, even though it's just, you're listening to this, Cardinals Stan the Man. Like, let's just throw some sauce on it.
Okay. Stan the Man, Musial, 24 All-Star games.
24.
He's won 3 World Series titles, 7 batting titles. He's 11th all-time in wins above replacement for as in everyone who's ever played Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
just shy of 500 homers at 475, but a career 331 batting average.
Think about this. The dude missed 1945 because he's part of that generation that went to war. So instead of continuing to play baseball, he went to war. In 1943, what he started through 1957 was a run where he never finished lower than 9th in MVP voting, Jarred, and had 4 second-place finishes during that time. And remember, he was a 3-time MVP himself.
Yep. 3-time MVP, 4 runner-ups, 7 batting titles. That is that's
a dude.
That's a no-brainer is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is another no-brainer. I don't know if you would have went number 2 here, but I don't even really think it matters. Like Mount Rushmore is Mount Rushmore. It's not like
there's no order.
There's no order.
There's no inner circle to Mount Rushmore.
No, like you're either on it or you're off, and Bob Gibson is on it.
You bet your sweet ass Bob Gibson is on it.
I'm not trying to fucking crack my ribs the second that I enter the pearly gates. Bob Gibson is 1,000% on it. Almost, what is it, 3,100? 3,117 strikeouts.
I don't give a damn what numbers you start to throw at me, brother. And here's why. Can you name another dude that literally, physically changed the game because he drug his nuts so heavily across the mound? Like, that's what happened.
No.
They didn't lower the mound. Bob Gibson's nuts fell out of his pants. And they were like, well, we're just going to have to keep it here because this is where it starts to get fair, I guess. Because if we allow Bob Gibson to continue to do this on this high of a hill, no one's ever going to fucking touch another baseball. It's just not going to happen. So they had to lower the mound because of this dude.
Let me ask you this question, because Bob Gibson played 17 major league seasons. Did he become a member of the Cardinals Mount Rushmore just because of 1967 and 1968?
Oh, I mean, come on, dude.
What he did in the 67 World Series and then what he did in the 68 season was enough to be on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, 2 seasons.
Well, and he's a 2-time World Series MVP.
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like, so when you're talking about the same dude who's been the most valuable asset to your organization at the highest pinnacle possible, well, yeah, we start to consider that dude as an all-timer.
And he won a fucking MVP that year as well. That was like back in the day when, we're still kind of at that point. We're like, well, I don't like pitchers that win MVP. But like, how do you not give it to him? Here's another question. How the fuck did he lose 9 games in 1968? He had a 1-1-2. He had a 1-1-2 with 268 strikeouts in 304 2/3 innings. That's crazy too. I never would have guessed.
Now think about this. I believe in 67, his 28 complete games weren't even the most in baseball. But then the next year, his 28 complete games were the most.
So that was 68 and 69.
Oh, 68 and 69, sorry.
Yeah.
So not 67, 60. Yeah. So in 68, the dominant season, his 28 complete games. Think about this. That wasn't the most in baseball. But the next year, he did it again. 28 complete games, that was.
Yeah. Well, the year after, he had 23 complete games, and that was not the league leader.
Well,
I know, he had 20, then he had 23.
Dude, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid, the dominance.
Yeah. Bob Gibson, welcome to the Cardinals Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. 300-plus inning, just an absolute horse.
Oh, man. This is tough.
Is it?
The rest of it's tough.
So here's the thing. Because I think about the eras, and I think about what these guys were doing in those eras. And that's how you translate the numbers, or that's how you value these things. Like, if you've got a guy who's just that dominant, it's, like how Mike Trout is dominant in his personal performances in this day and age of baseball and this game. Like, there's guys who were that to their era, but not to that degree. So that's something I've thought about. And guys who create runs differently than some other guys. Maybe there's guys that hit it over the fence. Maybe there's guys that still second and third. I don't know. How do you value that? How do you split that up? Where do you put the value? What means more to you?
Well, all right. So I think the last spot is more the debate, because I don't think that there's really a debate about Albert Pujols being on the Mount Rushmore. But even though it's an interesting case, obviously, because he played half of his career with the Angels, which just seems odd, because even with half of his career with the Angels, no one will ever think of him as an Angel. Ever. Ever.
And what he did in St. Louis, that is enough to make him one of the greatest players that organization has ever seen and has ever had. And I battled that as well. Like, do I want to put more value with guys who just never left their organization? But does that make them better? No. That just kind of that's almost an inner circle type of perspective. Like, oh, well, he never left. So at the end of the day, I got it. Well, okay. But if that's all it is, we can talk about productivity, can't we? Like, let's do that. And that's where, Albert Pujols, what he did as a St. Louis Cardinal, it was ridiculous dominance, dude.
It was
ridiculous dominance. Like his line. How about his line in St. Louis as a Cardinal? His slash line: 328, 420, Holland, 617 slug. That's 1,037 OPS. 445 jacks. Over 1,300 RBIs, 1,329. 1,200 runs, 1,291. And how about your boy with 84 stolen bases? Holla! But seriously,
there is a lot of black ink in the St. Louis years.
And like I told you, there's only 2 for Anaheim.
Yeah, because he grounded into the most double plays. But I mean, 3 MVPs.
2 World Series titles.
3 MVPs when Bonds was still doing his thing. That's crazy. Rookie of the Year, a batting title, led the league in OPS 3 times. Yeah, Pujols is up there. There's one guy, I don't know if you noticed this, the list of potential candidates that was put together by Dr. Claw. There's a glaring omission here.
What do you got? You got Mac here?
Yeah. I'm not saying I pick him.
But just to have him as an option?
I think I know who I'm going with. It's not Mark McGwire. And I think because I think Cardinal fans, if we put out a graphic with Big Mac on as a Mount Rushmore guy, they probably condemn him for the steroid stuff.
If you put Mac and the dude that you're going to put up there next to each other, it would not even be close.
I'm putting the Wizard up there.
You put Ozzy up there.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite. That was the first Hall of Fame class that I went to go see in person. I loved Ozzie Smith. I know. I mean, there's. Where are you going here?
I'm not going the Wizard.
Are you going Yachty?
I mean, this is when you said the last spot was tough, you're absolutely right. It was tough because, and that's why I brought up the whole era thing and valuing different things. And like, man, do you know how important it is to have a catcher that has done what he has done and provided what he's provided for as long as he has?
Yeah. I mean,
like, that's what allows an organization to sustain itself. Like, if you don't have an arm that you can ride for damn near 20 years, I'm dead serious. Like, the next best thing is to have a catcher that you could possibly ride for that long. And that's what Yachty has been. The other guy I was considering, and, you know, I think you got to give you're looking at it through a completely different lens. A guy like Rogers Hornsby, like who he's playing against, blah, 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 blah. I understand all that.
Years in St. Louis. Like, that was that was the other thing, too. Like, once we got the dominant guys out of the way, and then once you get to that last spot, it's like, it is going to be like the longevity guy. Not saying, I mean, like, Ozzie Smith is a Hall of Famer, and we can have a discussion eventually about Yachty and whether or not he's a Hall of Famer, but like, we're talking about two longevity guys between Yachty and Ozzie. And I don't necessarily think that there's a wrong answer. I think it's whoever you grew up watching, like, as your guy, then that's your guy. Like, I don't think that there's a wrong answer between Yachty and Ozzie.
No, and I mean, Lou Brock is a guy, like, the only, like, I don't want to say the only reason, but one of the reasons that I have as much respect as I do for Lou Brock is just because knowing what I know about Ricky and knowing Ricky and understanding the impact that Ricky has had on the game of baseball, like, to know that that's the dude who he surpassed. Like, it's crazy. And I think I heard this stat, like, Lou Brock would have to go on to steal 50% more of the bases that he stole in order to catch Ricky or break the record or whatever that Ricky ended up setting. Like, that's just ludicrous.
So,
yeah, for me,
you're going Yachty.
I'm going Yachty, man.
Okay.
I told you I'm going Yachty. I'm going to let my heart lead the way on that one.
So, this is a matter of opinion. I think both answer, like, I would hate to leave either guy off. So there's no wrong answer for that fourth one between those two guys, but here's why you're wrong. Ozzie Smith, 67.6 career FWAR.
Oh,
Yachty,
nobody gives a
55.3 FWAR.
I don't care. Because
All-star
you're trying
games
to compare
for Yachty,
now you're trying to compare a catcher and a shortstop.
All-star
and you can't
games
compare
for
those
Ozzie.
two. You just can't do that.
15.
You get out of here with your
Gold
F
gloves
word.
for Ozzie.
Yeah, hold on.
13.
And
Gold
Yachty
gloves
wasn't
for
playing
Yachty.
in an era where it didn't
9.
matter what you were doing on the field. If you were a name, you just got to go to the All-Star game. Yachty actually played in an era where they weren't just handing out. And I'm not taking anything away from, but that wasn't the case. Okay, that wasn't the case. And if you're telling me right now, like, I just like what Yadier Molina
What have you got
has meant to the
against
Cardinals
Ozzie
as a
Smith?
pitching staff. Imagine who he's brought along with him. Like, my God.
There's no wrong answer here.
And you can't quantify.
There's no wrong answer
And
here.
that's a big problem. Not being able to quantify what these catchers were doing then up until now. Like, I don't know when the defensive metrics for catchers, like, you know, pitch framing and things like that. Trying to think of when they hit the scene, but I mean, there's just Yachty's value is unquantifiable.
Yeah. There's one thing that
Straight
you
up.
mentioned about Bob Gibson. It was because he had big old nuts.
Yeah.
You like nuts?
What? I do. I told you I'm a nut guy.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I've got these nuts from nuts.com.
Yeah. I actually have a ton of nuts from nuts.com.
What I actually have been hammering are the banana chips.
Ooh.
Big banana chip guy. I'm a big fruit guy. Love fruit.
Yeah.
Love fruit. My children love fruit. My children actually been hammering these banana nut chips too. Or these nut chips or banana chips from nuts.com. That's what they've been hammering. That's what I've been hammering. And that's the whole message here, folks, is nuts.com isn't just for nut lovers. It's not just a ton of nuts and that's it. Like there's a lot of other stuff. It's your one-stop online pantry shop. This is really where you need to be if you're snacking, because you are snacking, aren't you? You are snacking. I would go here. I would go to nuts.com because it's fruit, it's nuts, flours, grains, a lot of other stuff that you could be kicking off in the kitchen, not just a satchel of nuts, okay? They got over 4,000 products to choose from. Super delicious, super healthy shit. The kid family stuff, you're talking to the family guy here. Like, what else? Dried strawberries is what else might... Actually, there was a little fisticuffs over the dried strawberries, if I'm being completely candid. The custom trail mix, they got all kind of amazing shit. Oh, they got raw organic stuff, the roasted, salted, candied nuts. They got chocolate-dipped nuts, Carrabis. Throw those bad boys in the refrigerator and then pop them out after you've gotten your mind right. Pop them out when you're allowed to roam about the cabin, if you know what I mean, at altitude, and enjoy. Go nuts with nuts. That's what I'm going to say, because that's what's on your boys' menu here a little later this evening, just so you know. I'm also inclined to tell you that it's easy to get to. You don't have to worry about navigating through a difficult website. Nope. They got photos, let you know exactly what you're getting into. It's a family-run business. They take pride in making sure you can get what you want and that it's as fresh as it could possibly be. I told you, it's your one-stop online pantry shop. Gluten-free, vegan options, delivery super fast. Most orders, you click, boom, shipping that same day. Fresher products than the supermarket. And remember, new nuts.com customers get free shipping on your first order when you text Barstool to 64-000. So text Barstool to 64-000 to get free shipping on your first order from nuts.com. That's Barstool to 64-000. Terms apply. Available at nuts.com/terms.
Did you see the video I made for you tonight?
No. Did you make a video?
Yeah.
No. Did you text it to me? Where did you make it? Where did
No,
you send
I
it?
tweeted it, and I tagged you in it.
No. Was it at the end of the game?
It depends on what your definition of the end of the game is. Like, I tweeted it during the end of the game, but the game wasn't over yet. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. No, I haven't seen it.
Game ended in the 6th.
How do
Maybe.
Yeah, I heard that. And that's just not true.
No, that's true.
That's just simply not true. No, I can't. Where the...
It's one of your, how you would tweet me a little sup video. I tweeted you a sup video. That's all.
Oh, hey, hold on. Oh, let's...
That's not coming through at all. No.
Well, that's harsh.
Yeah.
That's uncalled for.
Well, you know what really it made me. It just made me miss going to games with you. That's all. Just made me miss the times that we've shared together at a ballpark, and it reminded me that a lot of ballparks. The Braves are at 100%, I believe, right now. The Milwaukee Brewers just released that they're going to be at 100% in June. So people are coming on back. People are coming back. Come back to baseball games. When is Oak? They'll never, literally will never be at 100% ever. But when could that be, I guess, a technical possibility?
I think sooner rather than later. I do. I believe by the summertime. I believe, I'll say by July. By the end of July. This place should be rocking again. I'd like to think so.
I just want to be able to go back on the field. Like, I just want to be able to go to BP.
That's not going to be a thing.
No, it is.
If
you're vaccinated, that's going to be a thing this year for sure.
I don't know. Because, I mean, we don't need to get into this, but the slippery slope starts to be, well, you're just going to take my word that I'm vaccinated?
Well, no, you have a vax card.
You're right, you do. But now you're going to ask me to see my vax card before you were going to let me do anything? Like, I'm not telling you that I'm not agreeing, disagree. I'm just saying, like, we're just starting to walk, you start.
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw people, like, bugging out about that where it's like, oh, like, the CDC is going to let people take their masks off if they're vaccinated. It's like, that's in, like, public spaces. But if it's on the field at Fenway Park, then, yeah, I should be able to ask you for your vax card.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you that people, I don't know how understanding people are of stuff like that. Like, hey, if you're out in the world, do what you want, but you're coming into our building.
Yeah.
We're allowed to set the standard here. So
right.
The idea of you thinking that you can just walk in here and not follow the protocol and not check the boxes, well, that's not real. Like, you're going to have to do some shit here. You don't get to just not walk through the metal detector. Like, that's not how that works.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it.
That's all. I want nothing more than people to be on BP. What sucks is if you're a Braves fan, we don't know when you're going to be able to watch Ronald Acuna take BP again.
Yeah. He had a similar injury in 2018? 19? What year did he come up? 18?
Yeah, he came up in 18.
He came. It was when the Braves came to Fenway. He did the exact same thing. It was literally the exact same thing, exact same play. I hope it's not anything serious because you see the fucking ball that he hit into the second deck.
An absolute
mammo. Yeah, it was his 11th or 12th. One of the two. But we were talking the other day. I was talking to one of my buddies. We were watching baseball and talking about, like, the 40-40 club. We're like, is there anyone that could be in 40-40 right now? And it's like, well, yeah,
he should
Acuna. Yeah, like Ronald Acuna Jr., like, it's not just could be. He will be the next 40-40 guy. And, oh, yeah, it's because we were watching something on A-Rod. So it's like A-Rod, when A-Rod became the third guy in the 40-40 club. And I was like, third? I was like, wasn't he the second? Because it was like Canseco, and then I forgot Bonds did it.
Alfonso Soriano.
No, Bonds did it before A-Rod, and then Soriano did it fourth. So I was like, yeah, like the 40-40, like everyone makes a big deal about the 40-40 club. No one who has gained entry to the 40-40 club eventually made it to Cooperstown.
Well, I mean, there's
reasons for that.
There's arguments for that.
Yeah. Well, not for Barry.
No, I'm not telling you that I have that argument.
Yeah, the argument's out there. Sure.
That's it. No, Acuna's gonna be fine. He'll be fine.
I'm surprised that like you didn't say anything on the broadcast about the shiesty move that the Red Sox pulled for this series.
What? About what?
Do you know what I'm talking? Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about.
No. What?
This is the time to game the system. Like the Red Sox were like, oh yeah, Nick Pivetta got the vaccine, and he's feeling some side effects. So we're gonna put him on the COVID list, and we're gonna get a fresh bullpen arm up here. And Pivetta wasn't gonna pitch. He pitched on Sunday. So it's like, we'll use his roster spot for an extra bullpen arm. And then, like, when you get put on the COVID list, there's not a minimum number of days that you have to spend on it. So it's like, oh, it's his turn to pitch again? All right, we'll just bring him back, and we'll send down one of the bullpen arms that sucks or isn't fresh. Like, I don't know why more teams aren't gaming the system right now. That was brilliant by the Red Sox.
What makes you think that teams aren't?
I haven't seen. I mean, like you, because the Padres and the Yankees have guys that are going off, but it's like,
well, yeah, there's a difference between maneuvering for on arm and then trying to like fill 5 spots. Like,
who else has done it?
What do you mean? Who else has done it? Like, it's this is something that was talked about when this all hit, like being able to move guys around from the alt site like this.
Well, yeah, but like, who else has done it? Like, you obviously something comes to mind if you're so confident.
No. It's all I'm saying is this isn't like that right there. Like, for me to notice that move specifically, like I'd have to be looking at their roster, paying attention to, like, that's just like, we're not worried about a starting pitcher who we're not going to see this series.
I mean, I have been paying pretty close attention to other teams, guys going on the COVID list, or like this guy has symptoms or whatever, so he's on the COVID list for like a day or two. It's mostly been this year because like it
happened last year too, man.
It did, but it's different this year because the vaccine. Like, if you have,
well, yeah, you have a built-in. Now you have a potential because the vaccine reacts differently, right?
Yeah,
like people.
You can't tell me what I'm feeling right now. Like, there's no tests for like, I feel like I have the chills. Yeah, like, so yeah, I think it's a little bit different from last year because last year, if you had COVID-like symptoms and you had to wait to get a negative or a couple negative tests before you could return. Now it's just like, oh, I got a little bit of the chills. I feel better. All right, you can come back.
So you refer to that as a shiesty move.
Yeah.
Who'd be making that call?
I don't know.
No, you don't know?
No. Nope.
Huh.
I don't know whose decision that would be.
So you don't know who'd be making that shiesty call? Your words, not mine?
No, I don't know. It's gamesmanship.
Oh, no, I mean, hey.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think
It's
more
in the
teams
rules.
should be doing it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like now is the time to do it because
Feels like that kind of stuff's got to be in your DNA, right? To be
doing what?
Looking for that. Well, just to be, you're
I'm just doing my job. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention
No,
to
not
the
you.
little things.
Not you. Like that's like whoever. I guess whoever's making that shiesty type of decision.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whose decision it would be, but all I'm saying is now's the time to do it because 3 weeks from now, you can't be like, oh yeah, my number 3 starter, he got the vaccine 4 weeks ago and he's feeling some side effects, and it's like, well, no, he's not.
Well, yeah, you've only got so many arrows in the quiver, buddy.
Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, so let's see. Who just came up from the alt site for the Red Sox?
Oh, it wasn't like they called up a stud or anything. It was like Bizardo. What the fuck his name is?
Bizardo.
Isn't that his name?
It is. The only reason I'm laughing is because we obviously have Luzardo, and
yeah, we have Bizarro World Luzardo.
We were trying to get the name because, like, doing the world feed, we're only getting shots that the Red Sox production crew is providing. Like, I think there's one camera that we have that we can move around, and that's it. So we're working with what they give us, and we were like taking our headsets off, like, what? Buzzard? Like, that's not. What are you saying? Are you saying Buzzardo? What is this? What are you saying? Like, we were, and it's not a difficult name to pronounce.
No.
Like, it was just the Bizardo thing that was fucking me up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Who? Oh, yeah, it is Buzzardo.
It's Bizardo.
Bazardo.
Yeah. And it would be a little bit different if we called up like a secret weapon of sorts, but that's It's not what we did.
No, it's just all about, just that little bit. If you can get that little bit, get that little bit.
Yeah. It really helped out.
You.
JT Real Muto is going to the COVID-related injured list. Seems to be a trend. Are you surprised at the number of major leaguers that have had to take a seat because of COVID this year? Like, I know that we're not quite there yet where it's like we're over it and it's done with, but I am surprised at how many big leaguers are like still getting it.
Well, yeah, it's weird. I honestly, because I haven't seen I forget where the numbers come from, but the weekly updates on how many teams have been tested and the percentage of players and personnel and who was positive and blah, 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 blah. I haven't seen that tweet in a while. I haven't seen those numbers. So I would have to look at that, obviously, and that would give us a better idea. I don't know, dude. We also have to factor in there's a lot of guys who are like, yo, I'm not going to get a vaccine. I'm not going to do that. I'm playing. I don't want to be impacted. And there's, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. So that just leaves a level of susceptibility that you have to factor into why this continues to happen.
I mean, when I saw that Fernando Tatis Jr. had COVID, I was like, how the fuck didn't he get it before? And this cannot be his first time. The Padres won a playoff game, and this dude is out in the middle of the streets of San Diego in front of hundreds of thousands of people, high five in October. I mean, it was still it wasn't new, but it wasn't where we are now back in October. And he's just out there amongst all these people. And then they posted the video from his social where he came home and there was a big family surprise party at his house. And there was fucking 50 people there. It's how, I mean, I don't care. I didn't look at that stuff and be like, oh, come on, dude, be smarter. But it is surprising that was the name that came out where I was like, oh, I mean, there's no way that's his first time getting it. No way.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing is you just don't know, hey man, I don't know. there's a lot to consider when this kind of shit is a part of what you have to think about day in, day out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's going to continue to roll as is.
Yeah.
We're not canceling games, are we?
No, which has been great. And that was a whole fucking to-do at the beginning of last year. The Marlins and the strip club story and who else? Who else was it? I know the Marlins got ripped a ton for it, but they weren't the only team that missed a bunch of games, right?
No. Was it the Nats too? No, not the Nats.
That was this year. Who the fuck else was it? I can't remember. Yeah, not important. We got past it. Was it the Cardinals?
Might have been the Cardinals.
Maybe. Speaking of the Cardinals, Albert Pujols has cleared waivers. He's now a free agent. He's free to sign with any team. The Cardinals, I would imagine, are not going to sign him. But regardless, the Angels are on the hook for $30 million, regardless of where he signs, if he signs. You get him for league minimum, and he's making $30 million, all part of the Angels fronting the bill for that. So we know the White Sox are not going to sign him. Do you think he plays another major league game?
Part of me wants to say yeah, but not right now. Someone will bring him on in a month. Maybe a team that's just It's done. We're done. Let's just bring Albert on. Let's see if he can, like I said before, see if he can help, see if he can impact the guys in some way, see if there's anything for him to offer. And the trade-off is us allowing him to play first base.
Yikes.
Because at the end of it, you think about paying a prorated amount to have Albert Pujols in the building, rubbing off on your future of your organization. So
what team do you think does it?
I don't know. Is that worth $350,000 to you?
Yeah.
Is that worth $400,000 to you? Whatever it's going to be.
I think so.
That's the only question that you got to ask. So who's got a roster spot that they're willing to spend $400,000 on for a guy to, I don't know, what's he physically capable of doing? If you were to give him the floor, here you go, it's yours. You're the everyday first baseman, or you're the everyday DH. Like, realistically, can he play every day? Is he what's he going to give you?
I don't even know what team would have the opening right now.
Well, because it doesn't make any sense.
He cannot sign with a National League team. He can't unless it's the Cardinals for one day.
No, absolutely not. And that's why I say, what do they do? What's he do? Does he come back and does he just stay swinging it in Florida until the last week of the season and signs with St. Louis?
Maybe.
And they let him come back and they play the last game of the season, and that's that. But I mean, what happens when? I mean, well, here's the thing. Here's the benefit to that. The St. Louis will probably have already locked up the division by then, and they'll be able to do that.
And then he goes 2 for 3. And then he's like, you know what? I still got something left in the tank. And then he tries to get a contract next year.
Hey, whatever. Or Albert rides out in a blaze of glory, storybook ending. The Cardinals lose in 7 to the Oakland A's, but Albert has done an incredible job getting the Cardinals back to the promised land one last time and giving the fans, who he loves so dearly, one final memory.
I thought you were going to say the Oakland A's were going to sign Albert Pujols.
No.
I mean, you guys could afford him. Maybe. And you're not in danger of going over the luxury tax or anything.
No, we got some breathing room there.
Yeah, you definitely have some wiggle room.
You know who doesn't have wiggle room?
The Dodgers?
Corbin Burns.
Oh.
The strikeout record.
Yeah.
That he just set for the most consecutive strikeouts without a walk.
Start a season.
He then walked somebody, but that's not what I'm talking about, because Garrett Cole is right behind him. Garrett Cole is right behind him. But we're not talking about Garrett Cole. We're talking about Corbin.
Garrett Cole has the same thing going, just not to start the season. It's just it's its own little span.
56? Yeah, so it's not a record, I guess, that is going to be broken because, as you said, it's not to start the season.
Right.
But it is consecutive. What's he at, 56 punch-outs?
Something like that. He's all right. I'd rather have
He's settling in. He's settling in.
Who'd you rather have?
Is he starting to round out into Cy Young favorite form right now?
Garrett Cole?
Yeah.
No.
Little early for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's okay, but I mean, there's a lot of time left on that clock.
There's a lot of meat on that bone. You're right, buddy. There is.
Who do you have?
What do you mean who? Well,
Oh, you have Lance Lynn.
Yeah, but he's not healthy. That hurts.
I want a statistics website And I talked to Jay Hay about this. I can't ESPN used to have average game score for pitchers, and then they just got rid of it. And I don't know of another website that has it. I love average game score for evaluating pitchers. Every single year, you would look at the average game score for starting pitchers, and at the end of the year, whoever was leading in both categories, those were your Cy Young Award winners. Even in the seasons where it was like Felix Hernandez was like 13-12, it's like, yeah, well, he was leading an average game score. Now it just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Side note, final thoughts for me. R.I.P. Brooks Baseball.
What?
Like the site.
I know. What? Why?
I don't know why. It just doesn't work. And it hasn't for a long time.
No.
Yes. Go to it and try to look up anything right now. Try to look up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just went to the player card and it just takes me to the home page.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. I got it. No, it works.
What the
I only use it for the velo and movement.
Yeah, you go back and look at trying to. I can't even to the fucking website right now. Because I used to just go when you look up the pitching logs, click on the number. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I only looked at it for velocity. I went straight to Tyler Glasnow's page. Glasnow's max four seam in April, 101.23.
Yeah, see, it's what?
You're probably just doing it wrong.
No, dude, I just clicked on the baseball reference link, and it says access denied.
Ooh. Rejected.
What does that mean?
Means you're not good enough. Sorry.
What does that mean? So do I have to take everything I just said about Brooks Baseball back?
Maybe. I mean, it's working for me.
I don't understand.
I mean, it's not shocking that you would have an issue technologically with something.
I mean, I can videotape. That's my new thing, is videotaping me going through these issues so that there's not the, oh, you're not. No, here you go. Fuck, chew on it yourself. I'm over it. Whatever.
Well, I'm happy that it's not broken and that you just don't know how to work machinery. It's a good website. You should check it out.
It's broken. There's something wrong with it.
We'll be back next week with a continuation of the Mount Rushmore series. I'm assuming that we're going to put out graphics for our Mount Rushmores for the St. Louis Cardinals. I would imagine that you're probably going to win the popularity contest just because, I mean, people are on Twitter are going to appreciate Yachty way more than they appreciate Ozzie Smith, but it is what it is.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. There's probably going to be, a lot of them where it's a no-brainer 4 that you throw out there. But that was a tough one where, once you get down to that 4th, I think the first 3 were a guarantee, and then you get to that 4th spot and you've got your options, and I'm happy with my choice, but I don't blame you for the direction that you went.
Cheers to Mount Rushmore.
We
We go.